let's get started. We are just over a week into 2021 and boy has it been spicy. You may have written a list of goals and New Year's resolutions, but we all know how that turns out. So today I'll be showing you how I review my 2020 and how I make an efficient, productive plan for the coming year. Hi everyone, my name is Shaan Baig. I am a researcher, speaker, and entrepreneur from Montreal, Canada. If you're new to the channel, I talk about productivity, my interesting and intriguing experiences in STEM, and how you too can have a positive impact on the world through science. Now we've all been there. You get a fresh new notebook and you list a bunch of New Year's resolutions, working out, taking long walks on the beach, scratch that, short walks on the beach, and start using the word immaculate less. Just doesn't work. Now today I'll be showing you my annual review system of how I reflect, plan, and execute for the new coming year. Now this template can be used on Notion and you can duplicate it for your own purposes. Now my setup is largely influenced by Ali Abdaal, who's a fantastic doctor and YouTuber based out of the UK. So this kind of setup is really for the student who's working on side projects, who has a work and a business. So yeah, let's dive into it. So as mentioned, my setup is on Notion, like as is everything in my life. And so I'll definitely be making more videos on how I set up for school and use Notion for my projects. But for now, it's really based on the three key components, which is to reflect, plan, and execute. Now, the first part of step one is kind of to list things you're grateful for. So whether it's people, experiences, accomplishments, game changers, and things, it's really cool to kind of list all the things you're grateful for. So first, going into people, I like to separate into life, work, and community. So, to my friends watching, it's not in a specific order, don't get mad. But yeah, we have work. So Pierre, shout out to Pierre. He's a fantastic mentor I've received this coming year. I really like to list the communities I'm grateful for. So the We Are Family Foundation, my Science Fair gang, I think I really realized the true power of them this past year in 2020. So in experiences, I don't like to think too hard about them, just see whatever comes to mind and really reminds me what stuck out in 2020. Considering the pandemic and all, I was able to go whale watching, go to Taiwan, meet the vice president in Taipei. I was able to present my work at Harvard, and I was able to make face shields for frontline healthcare workers. And so, yeah, that was kind of the few experiences that stuck out to me. For accomplishments, I don't really like this category. I've always growing up considered them as a one and done thing, and so I think this was really important for me to kind of reflect on the things I did do and kind of appreciate them more. And so I was able to achieve a few things that were always a dream of mine growing up in 2020. So being selected as a 2020 global team leader, being selected as top talent under 25 in the category of management, and actually winning Best in Fair at the Taiwan International Science Fair. These were kind of events that really stuck out to me, and I was really proud to have gone. For things in game changers, I think it's really objective. So for me, I'm really grateful for this desk setup, considering, doing school from home. Also, noise canceling AirPods. That has been very clutch because I have three siblings, and well, I have three siblings. The next part of the reflection step is to see what exactly went down during 2020. So this is broken down in the big picture, have a timeline of what exactly went on month to month. And lastly, what kind of projects did I work on in the past year? So for me, for the big picture, finishing half my university degree thus far, and for the most part being online, and I think for all of us, that was quite the experience. For the timeline part, I really like this, where I kind of go through my photo library and see month to month what exactly went down. And so I found this really funny considering the 2020 we all had. So for me, comprised of starting the year off in Tremblant, going skiing with my friend Sam, and then going to Crane Bridge to present my research on Alzheimer's disease at Harvard with the legend Hasnia, who you should definitely check out her blog. She kind of recently wrote about how she does her New Year's resolutions. So I'll link that down in the description. And so then I went on to presenting my science fair project, my last ever project in Taiwan, and winning Best in Fair, to the boys there. That was quite the trip. Taiwan was an interesting experience because not only was I going there for a science fair, but COVID was really big then for Taipei and Taiwan, where back home in North America, there was no word of it. And so coming back and then seeing a whole repeat of it hitting Montreal and whatnot was quite interesting. Coming back from Taiwan, we had a productive layover, 16-hour layover in San Francisco. The world slowly shutting down, having school off for a week, going to working at the hospital in the summer, which was quite the experience with COVID and all. During the summer, I gradually found myself having intense tennis matches, working at the hospital, in the psychopharmacology department, and then getting my wisdom teeth out. Now the year winded down with me participating in the online Just Be Summit, which shout out to the We Are Family Foundation. Fantastic program. I thoroughly enjoyed being selected as a 2020 Global Team Leader and all that it allowed me during the past year, whether it was listening to Professor Muhammad Yunus, to engaging with the other incredible young people and change makers from around the world. You should definitely apply to become a 2021 Global Team Leader. There's 1 week left, and I'll definitely leave that down in the description below. Lastly, the wacky year came to an end. First Christmas, COVID edition. So yeah, that was kind of my timeline. This is my favorite part, where I get to list the projects I worked on and look back on them. So whether it be my nanoparticle-bound antibody for the early detection and treatment of Alzheimer's disease, I was able to launch a face shield initiative with some of my friends to combat the face shield and PPE kind of equipment shortage. And so that was really an interesting experience to have that started when all the city was locked down trying to find materials. I was able to build a ventilator from scratch, low cost and sustainable, for the Code Life Ventilator Challenge launched by the Montreal General Hospital Foundation. So these were kind of really fun, kind of interesting experiences to have while kind of using STEM for good during COVID. Now, the next section is to look back on the cool things I discovered. So whether there were blogs, podcasts, books, I think it's really cool to kind of look back on the things I've read and the content I've consumed, and kind of to see how I've used that information going forward. So I'm not going to bore you with the details. If you want to check out my kind of favorites, you can definitely check out the template down below. I'll keep my answers there. But some of the books, The Power Ritual by Casper ter Kuile, I was able to listen to him thanks to the Just Be Summit. By him and Jedediah Jenkins, they have some really incredible books that I highly recommend considering the circumstances and all. So you should definitely check those out. For productivity, I think there's a bunch of cool things I discovered in 2020, whether it be Notion, Toggle, kind of to keep track of time to see if that time used for a specific task was used productively, and kind of can help you cut down on specific task by seeing where your time is better spent and where it's better not. And so my mentor showed me that, so it's really cool. But yeah, Floor is also a cool app. It's a Pomodoro timer, but you get to kind of give back to the environment where it plants a tree every certain amount of hours you studied or done your task without getting sidetracked. And so it kind of locks your phone, and if you kind of leave the app or use a different app like Instagram or Snapchat, you kill a tree. So the last part before the reflective questions is the unicorn moment. So it's whatever times during 2020 that I felt like I was in a movie or a music video. For movie, Denver. That's all I gotta say, Denver. If you want to learn more about that, you can message Brendan. For my music video like moments, it was definitely laying in a ton of cash in a Taiwanese hotel room. I did feel like Kanye West. At the time, obviously not now with all that's going on with him. What do I have here? On my flight back from Toronto, receiving an email from the UN. Post Malone would definitely get an email from the UN to speak there. I was definitely daydreaming about riding a camel with the best coordinator at Austin College. Oh wait, no, I actually did that. So there you can kind of have fun, relive the interesting moments you may have had in 2020. But yeah, next up for the reflective questions, I think these make you think. They're pretty hard, but yeah, you can kind of definitely answer below under the toggle feature that Notion is amazing for. But yeah, so some of the questions are: what were difficult during the year? How did you suffer differently? How did you have fun differently in 2020? So you can definitely look through these kind of reflective questions, and they can make you think and help you best plan for what you want to kind of get out of 2021. The second step is to plan, and I don't think you can have one plan for all aspects of your life, as we're all complex human beings, but rather have multiple plans for different aspects of your life. So for me, this split up into health, business, and school. So for the health aspect, with this really increased sedentary lifestyle with lockdown and all, I really want to fix my posture with all this sitting. The sit-stand desk has been really clutch for that. get 200 minutes of physical activity according to the ACSM. Shout out to Mr. Frenetic. I really want to improve in all the posh sports, skiing, cycling, tennis, and golf. I think this will be valuable life skills where I'm talking multi-billion-dollar deals on the golf course and just saying, I'm off to the tennis club, Also, with all the social distancing, I think it's really important to reach out intentionally to your friends and family to really not be so bored during lockdown. For school, my last year of university coming up, I'm studying kinesiology, clinical exercise physiology, and I'm really enjoying it. But yeah, I think it's time to start planning and applying to a few graduate school programs and scholarships. I'd also like to confer my honors thesis. Business, I really want to work on my not-for-profit I started, Young Scientists and Innovators, which you should definitely check out on the work we're doing. But yeah, exciting things to come. I really want to start uploading on YouTube once a week. Book deal, I don't know what that's about. And yeah, the super secretive, not so secret startup, really focusing, my friend Rhea always talks about this analogy, return on investment versus return on humanity, and I think this will really kind of change the game in regards to that. So yeah, definitely stay tuned for that. Now the bucket list part. So this is probably the most generic part, but I think this is really well done when separated into things you think you can achieve within a year and also your someday maybe bucket list. So for me, that has reading 30 books, taking some courses on Photoshop and Premiere Pro, competing in a cycling marathon, traveling if COVID permits, and yeah, working with the Longevity Fund, a monthly newsletter, but most importantly, expanding my female art history knowledge. I think this is an important skill I've learned in the past few years. My BS skills are impeccable, not to boast, but I think I really need to expand my art history, specifically female, medieval to postmodern time period. For my someday maybe goals, become a physician scientist, maybe be a Forbes 30 under 30. Yeah, what else do we got? Doctors Without Borders, maybe attend Oxford and Harvard. You see, it's very far-fetching over here, so that's why it's a someday, maybe, not so maybe. This last part is probably my most favorite. The ideas that are immaculate should most definitely be done the next coming year. So yeah, definitely don't rip me off. Improving biomanufacturing in space and technology for Alzheimer's, definitely implementing my carbon dot-bound bispecific antibody for Alzheimer's, but also for other cancers in the brain such as glioblastoma and so on. For step 3, the execution part, I think SMART goals are really key for this aspect in planning and actually achieving your goals for the next coming year. And so this is something I do a lot of at school and during my internships when dealing with patients and developing their plans to better improve their health. But this can also be a really good application for your specific goals. Using this table I set up, can have your overreaching goal, your type, your outcome, the status of your goal, kind of seeing how many day-to-day action items you have to achieve it. For those of you who don't know, SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant and realistic, and lastly, time-bound. Now plugging in all the relevant information regarding your goal into this page will allow you to best achieve it, to see what exactly has to be done in order for you to achieve that specific goal you set out for yourself. So that's how I do my inner review and how I reflect and plan for the next coming year. Again, you can find that template down below in the description. Use what you liked and kind of exclude what you didn't like so you can best tackle 2021 head on. Now, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, please leave a like and subscribe, and definitely leave a comment of what you like to see in the next videos. Until then, see you next week.